You are waking up these days with a heaviness that sits right in the pit of your stomach, a distinct kind of gravity that feels like you swallowed a stone while you were sleeping. It is not because something terrible is happening in your immediate reality, but rather because you are bone-tired of waiting for a signal that never seems to arrive. For the longest time, you have been operating on the silent belief that if you just hold your breath, endure the sharp edges of your pain, and stay fiercely loyal to the struggle, a rescue team will eventually arrive to lift you out of the trenches. You have been playing the good soldier, keeping your head down, expecting a medal, or at least a hand up. But the energy shifting around you right now is stripping away that illusion with brutal efficiency, forcing you to realize that the rescue team is not coming because you are the commander of this entire operation. Before we go any further into this deep spiritual surgery, I want to introduce myself to those who are new to this circle. I am Madam Tina, and I have spent over 25 years reading the unspoken languages of the stars and the human heart, helping souls navigate the rough waters between who they were and who they are becoming. I am not here to give you a fluffy horoscope that tells you everything is going to be perfect by Tuesday. I am here to hand you the keys to your own power, because I know that you, specifically those born between October 23rd and November 21st, are standing on the edge of a massive spiritual maturation that requires you to stop hoping and start moving with the divine force that created you. You need to stay with me through this entire conversation because we are going to talk about why your current exhaustion is actually a sign of victory, how to handle the sudden silence from people you thought were friends, and the specific financial shift that happens when you stop asking for permission. This sensation you are feeling is often misunderstood as depression or burnout, but in the spiritual anatomy of a Scorpio, particularly those of you in the second or third decan who are feeling this intensity most right now, it is actually the sensation of outgrowing your container. Think of a seed that has been buried in the dirt for a long, cold season. For that seed, the cracking of the shell feels like destruction. It feels like the end of the world because the only home it has ever known is breaking apart. But for the gardener, that crack is the first sign of life. You are currently in the shell cracking phase. This is why your patience has completely evaporated. You used to be able to tolerate ambiguous situations, waiting for people to change or for jobs to get better. You had an endless reserve of emotional credit that you would extend to others, hoping they would pay you back in love or recognition. The shift happening now is that the Bank of Scorpio is officially closing its lending department. You are realizing that spiritual maturity isn't about how much suffering you can endure. It is about how much truth you can embody. Moving with God, or the Source, or whatever name you give to the infinite, is an active verb. It requires you to pick up your feet and step into the unknown before you see the bridge. For the last few years, you have been stuck in a cycle of rehearsals. You have been rehearsing for a life that you were too afraid to actually live. You played small so you wouldn't intimidate the people around you with your natural intensity. You swallowed your intuitive hits because you didn't want to be accused of being suspicious or paranoid. But the universe is no longer accepting that performance. The pressure you feel is the divine hand pushing you onto the main stage. This is terrifying for a sign that prefers the shadows. But your anonymity is no longer serving your soul's purpose. You are being called to be visible, not in a vanity way, but in a testimony way. Your life is meant to be proof that transformation is possible. When you sit around hoping for things to change, you are essentially telling the universe that you do not trust your own power to change them. Maturation means taking the raw materials of your life, the grief, the betrayals, the intense passions, and building something solid with them. It is the shift from being a victim of your circumstances to being the architect of your destiny. This process begins with a radical honesty about what you actually want versus what you think you should want. Society has handed you a script that says success looks like a certain car, a certain relationship status, or a certain number in the bank. But deep down, your Scorpio soul craves something much more primal and real. You crave intensity, depth, and a connection that feels like it transcends time. The dissatisfaction you feel right now is your soul rejecting the generic life script. It is a holy rejection. You are trying to fit an ocean into a teacup, and the spillover is messy. Do not apologize for the mess. The mess is evidence that you are expanding. As we move deeper into this year and look toward the horizons of the future, the theme is alignment over ambition. Ambition is about forcing doors open. Alignment is about walking through the doors that are already open for you. The difference feels like the difference between swimming upstream and floating with the current. You have been swimming upstream for so long that your muscles are cramping. It is time to flip over, look up at the sky, and let the river take you where you need to go. The second major shift we need to address is the physical intolerance your body is developing toward anything that is not authentic. In the past, you could sit through a dinner with people you didn't like and fake a smile. You could work a job that drained your soul and just numb yourself with distractions on the weekend. That capability is gone. Now, when you are in a fake situation, your body reacts instantly. You might get a headache, your stomach might turn, or you might feel a sudden wave of exhaustion that makes you want to lie down right on the floor. This is not a medical mystery. This is your intuition becoming biological. Your gut instinct has always been strong, but now it is taking over your nervous system. You are becoming a human lie detector test, and the alarm bells are ringing constantly because we live in a world that thrives on masks. You are seeing the cracks in the pavement before anyone else even feels the tremor, and this sensitivity is your body's way of demanding you stop eating poison just to be polite. This physical rejection of inauthenticity is forcing you to purge your environment. This goes beyond just cleaning your house or organizing a drawer. It is a spiritual excavation. You will find yourself looking at objects in your home, a chair, a gift from an ex, a stack of old papers, and feeling a physical repulsion. These objects hold energy, and because you are a water sign, you absorb that energy like a sponge. Living in a house filled with items from your past is like trying to sleep in a crowded room where everyone is whispering your old mistakes in your ear. You need silence. You need space. The urge to throw things away, to donate clothes that no longer fit the person you are becoming, is a sacred impulse. Follow it. Create a vacuum. When you clear the physical space, you signal to the universe that you are ready for the new. If your hands are full of yesterday's trash, you cannot catch tomorrow's blessings. It is violent in a way, this need to strip the walls bare, but it is the violence of birth. This intolerance extends aggressively into your social circle. There is a specific type of person you have attracted in the past, the project. These are people who are drawn to your strength and your healing energy. They come to you broken, and you, with your natural desire to fix and transform, take them in. You listen to their problems for hours. You offer advice. You loan them energy. But you are realizing that some people do not want to be healed. They just want to be heard. They are energy vampires who feed on your empathy. The maturation of your soul demands that you cut off the food supply. This is not cruel. It is necessary for your survival. When you stop engaging with their drama, they will likely get angry or try to manipulate you with guilt. They will say you have changed. They will say you are cold. Let them talk. Your warmth is reserved for those who can stand near the fire without trying to put it out. You are building a sanctuary, a fortress of solitude where you can recharge. This might mean you spend more time alone than usual. You might decline invitations to parties or gatherings that used to be routine. Do not let the fear of missing out trigger you. You are not missing out on anything. You are tuning in to yourself. In this quiet space, you will hear the voice of your own guidance clearly for the first time in years. It has been drowned out by the noise of other people's needs. This solitude is the incubator for your next level of power. It is where you learn to be your own best friend, your own lover, your own parent. When you can sit in an empty room and feel completely whole, you become dangerous in the best possible way. You become uncontrollable by external validation. You stop needing their applause because you are finally clapping for yourself. Hey, my beautiful, intense family. I want to take a quick second just to check in with your hearts. I know this kind of talk can feel heavy, like I'm reading the pages of a diary you keep locked under your mattress. If you are feeling seen, if you are nodding your head and saying, yes, that is exactly it, then you are already part of this tribe. You don't need to fill out an application. Just hit that little button to stay in the loop with us. I want us to be a circle of strength for each other. Leave me a note down below. Tell me one thing you are ready to throw out of your life today. It could be an old sweater or an old regret. I read your stories, and they honestly keep me going. Let's keep moving forward, because the best part is what comes next. Now let's talk about the transformation of your purpose and your career, because this is where the rubber meets the road. You have likely felt like the black sheep in your professional life. You see things differently. You see the flaws in the system, the inefficiencies, the lies management tells the employees. For a long time, this vision caused you trouble. You were labeled as difficult or insubordinate because you asked the questions no one else wanted to ask. But in this new era of maturation, your ability to see the rot beneath the floorboards becomes your most valuable asset. The world is changing. The old structures are crumbling, and society is desperate for people who can navigate the dark, who can handle crisis, and who are not afraid of the truth. This is your playground. You were built for the storm, while everyone else was built for the sunshine. You are moving from a place of frustration to a place of authority. The specific shift here is about ownership. You are done building someone else's empire. Even if you work for a company, you will start to operate with the mindset of a consultant or a free agent. You will stop looking for a boss to tell you you did a good job and start looking for clients or partners who value your specific brand of genius. There is money waiting for you in the shadows. By that, I mean there is prosperity linked to investigating, researching, healing, or transforming things that others are too afraid to touch. Whether that is in psychology, deep tech research, waste management, financial auditing, or hospice care, anywhere there is a transition or a mystery, there is gold for a Scorpio. You have a knack for finding value in what others discard, and that alchemy is your ticket to freedom. This financial abundance requires you to embrace your weirdness. The ideas you have that seem too intense or too radical are actually the ones that will pay off. Do not water them down. If you have an idea for a business or a project and it scares you a little bit, that is the green light. The safe path is a dead end for you right now. The safe path leads to mediocrity, and mediocrity is kryptonite to a Scorpio soul. You are meant to be excellent. You are meant to be the best at what you do, even if what you do is obscure. The universe is going to send you opportunities to monetize your depth. You might find yourself being paid simply for your judgment, for your ability to look at a situation and say, here is the problem and here is the solution. Your insight is the product, and it is highly valuable in a confused world. Trusting your intellect is part of this spiritual growth. You have a sharp mind, a detective's mind. Stop doubting your conclusions. When you walk into a meeting and you know the deal is bad, trust that knowing. When you look at a spreadsheet and the numbers don't feel right, dig deeper. Your skepticism is a shield that protects you and your resources. In the coming years, you will have the chance to secure your future, but it won't come through luck. It will come through strategy. It will come through you playing the long game while everyone else is trying to get rich quick. You understand the cycles of life and death, of boom and bust. Use that wisdom to position yourself where the puck is going, not where it has been. You are not gambling. You are calculating. Finally, we arrive at the heart of the matter, your relationships and the ultimate integration of your soul. As you mature spiritually, you will notice that the chair next to you might stay empty for a while. This is the hardest part for many of you, because despite your tough exterior, you crave deep intimacy more than any other sign. But the universe is clearing the table. The relationships that were based on trauma bonding, where you connected over shared pain or a shared enemy, cannot survive in this new atmosphere. You are healing, and healed people do not bond over wounds. They bond over visions. The people who loved you when you were broken might not know how to love you when you are whole. They might try to poke your old wounds just to get a reaction, just to see if the old you is still in there. When you do not react, when you stay in your center, they will fall away. Let them go. This creates a vacuum, a holy space that will eventually be filled by your soul tribe. These are people who speak your language without needing a dictionary. They are people who can handle your silence and your storms. But you have to be willing to walk alone through the desert to find the oasis. This period of solitude is not a punishment, it is a coronation. It is where you reclaim your sovereignty. You learn that your energy is your currency, and you stop spending it on people who give you nothing in return. You start investing it in yourself, in your art, in your health, in your connection with the divine. You become selective, not out of arrogance, but out of self-respect. This brings us to the collapse of time. You have spent so much of your life living in the future, worrying about what might happen, or living in the past, replaying what did happen. Spiritual maturation brings you violently and beautifully into the now. You realize that the only moment you have power over is this one. You stop waiting for the apology that never came. You stop waiting for the perfect time to start your life. You start improvising. You start trusting that whatever happens, you have the tools to handle it. This creates a profound sense of peace. It is not the peace of a calm lake. It is the peace of a mountain that knows it cannot be moved by the wind. You stand firm, rooted in your own existence. Your love for yourself becomes the foundation for everything. This isn't the bubble bath kind of self-love. This is the gritty, fierce protection of your own spirit. It is looking in the mirror and recognizing the survivor, the warrior, and the mystic staring back at you. It is forgiving yourself for the times you stayed too long, for the times you gave too much, for the times you betrayed yourself to keep the peace. You embrace all those past versions of you, and you say, "Thank you for getting me here. You are whole. You are powerful. You are ready. You are the storm that clears the air, and for the first time in a long time, the path ahead is clear. Thank you so deeply for walking this path with me today. Your presence here is not an accident. It is a divine appointment." If this message brought even a little bit of clarity to the storm you've been feeling, I would be so honored if you stuck around. We are building something real here, a place where we don't have to wear masks. Click that subscribe button, leave a comment, share your truth. Your voice is safe here. And if you are ready to go even deeper into understanding the mysteries of your path, there is another video on the screen right now that I picked out just for you. Go ahead and click it, and let's keep this transformation going. Blessings to you, always.